Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Ignition Time. Now, I already provided our viewers and subscribers with a scoop earlier on our channel where I broke the news about the massive $3 trillion Build Back Better agenda from the Biden administration. This is what we are likely to see, and there is a very high probability that the Democrats could try and pass this also through the process of budget reconciliation. Now, if you thought the $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan, the plan with the $1,400 stimulus checks, the plan that included the $300 a week in unemployment benefit boosters all the way through Labor Day through the 6th of September was all we're going to get. I need you to think again, because that was just step one as far as the Biden administration is concerned. Now, as you probably know, right now we have 50 Democratic senators in the United States Senate, and we have 50 Republican senators in the Senate. The tie-breaking vote will be cast by the Vice President, Kamala Harris. There she is. Hello, Vice President Harris. So what we have now is a situation where the Democrats want to further their agenda, have the Build Back Better agenda that's going to have a price tag of $3 trillion. Now, the big question is, who's going to pay for all this? It's going to be raining money as far as the US government is concerned. And all of this money, I want our viewers and subscribers to know that all of this money is going to be financed by deficit spending, meaning that all of this is borrowed money from the future. This is money we currently do not have. And so this is money that's going to have to be recouped in the future by the US government, presumably through higher taxes. Remember, the US government gets a majority of its income, more than 60% of its income, by way of taxes from low-income taxpayers and middle-income taxpayers, because the rich, yes, the rich, the ultra-wealthy, the richest 1%, find creative ways to shield their income from the IRS. And I would actually go so far as to call this tax evasion. I believe that someone who doesn't pay their taxes should be held liable. And in the United States of America, you can go to jail if you don't pay your taxes. So I want our viewers and subscribers to know that under no circumstances is tax evasion acceptable in any way, shape, or form. But the big question here is, how are we going to pay for all of this? And what are the Republicans going to do? Here's a brand new article on your screen from Axios, and as always, we'll provide you with a link to all of our resources in the description section below. The Republicans are planning to target some of the add-ons in the American Rescue Plan. Now, this is interesting. You've heard me discuss this before on our channel. Politics is about timing, opportunity, it's about tribalism, and it's about perception. The tribalism is the us against them. So the Republicans, because they cannot take credit for the American Rescue Plan, are going to try and point out loopholes in it. They're going to say, oh, this is wasteful spending, and that is wasteful spending. And this is the approach they're going to take. You have heard me mention this before, and I will mention it again. There is no such thing as a perfect plan. There is no such thing as a plan that doesn't waste any money. Unfortunately, waste is an aspect of not just a country's economy, the way a country spends money, but waste is an aspect of how you spend money. Waste is an aspect of how I spend money. There is one place where there is absolutely no waste, and we have a perfect bill, and that place is called La La Land. So, what's up with the Republicans? According to reporting by Axios, one idea they're testing, targeting add-ons like the $86 billion pension plan bailout. This is something that they're going to target as wasteful spending, and this is something that they're going to use to criticize the American Rescue Plan. Now, it is unfortunate that there was an $86 billion taxpayer-funded bailout for problems that predated the pandemic. Yes, that's what I said. Here's the headline of an article on your screen from the New York Times. The rescue package includes $86 billion bailout for failing pension plans. Now, Democrats pushed through a big aid measure for multi-employer pension plans whose problems predated the pandemic. Now, that's not the only problem that the Republicans have and that they're going to zero in on. Axios reports that stimulus checks being sent to inmates and some undocumented immigrants, even though undocumented immigrants without social security numbers are not eligible for stimulus checks. Also, if you may recall, there was $350 billion in aid for state and local governments, including $10 billion in aid for Florida. The Florida governor, Ron DeSantis, basically said, hey man, I'm taking the money, and already allocated $4 billion out of the $10 billion that was sent by the federal government to the state of Florida. Remember, this $10 billion is out of the $350 billion pie. So basically what the Republicans are going to say is, why did aid go to states and governors, despite the fact that in some cases, the revenue of many states, including the state of California, believe it or not, actually increased during the pandemic. Now, in case you're wondering, How did the revenue of states increase during the pandemic? I can give you two simple examples. Number one, the rich continued to pay their share of taxes for states, and the rich simply continued working from home. A lot of individuals who were able to work remotely, for example, managers, senior level staff, and individuals working in companies where they could work at home from a computer, they continued paying their state income taxes. And all these states actually made money from online sales taxes because people were simply buying more stuff online. So in other words, when you buy something online, the state does get their fair share of tax from that online transaction. And different states have different regulations, but a lot of states did quite well, including the state of California, that made more money in 2020 during the pandemic compared to 2019. So why are the Republicans resorting to this strategy? They know that if they talk about inflation and long-term debt on our children, nobody cares, because everyone cares about a check in the mail. Everyone cares about money in their bank account. Everyone cares about what have you done for me lately. Folks, in politics, what generally consumers think about, what voters think about, is not what have you done for me or what will you do for me, but what have you done for me lately. So according to this reporting from Axios, people are far more worried about getting money in their pocket and see the deficit spending, long-term problems like inflation as a distant governmental problem. And according to a House Republican aide who spoke with Axios, we're better off breaking down the bill's progressive wish list and selling that to specific districts. The more people learn about what's in it, the less likely they are to like it. Now, here's a comment from Chuck Grassley, the senior Republican senator from Iowa. I think we have to wait until the public gets all aspects of it instead of just the $1,400, and that's when our messaging will start. He added that 90% of the bill had nothing to do with the problem, so they got a lot of stuff done with cover of helping the pandemic. And as all of this is happening, President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris are crisscrossing across the country. They're on Air Force One, traveling all across the country, including important swing states like Pennsylvania, like Ohio, like Wisconsin, that were crucial for the victory of President Biden, specifically Pennsylvania and Wisconsin. So what President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris are doing is essentially going on Air Force One and continuing to sell the program to the American people, because they want the American people to know that the American Rescue Plan put $1,400 stimulus checks in your pocket, provided the $300 a week booster, provided the $10,200 in federal tax exemptions on unemployment benefits, provided the earned income tax credit, provided the child tax credit, provided a subsidy for health insurance premiums in order to make health insurance, which is normally very, very, very expensive, make it more affordable for millions of our fellow Americans through the Affordable Care Act, through the Obamacare marketplace. This is what the Democrats are doing, selling the American Rescue Plan, while the Republicans figure their best strategy right now is simply to point holes in the American Rescue Plan and hope that the American people will say, I don't like it. So where do you stand with all this? Let me know in the comments section below whether you agree or disagree with all the provisions in the American Rescue Plan. I can assure you that there'll definitely be some provisions that you don't agree on, but by and large, what is your consensus about the American Rescue Plan? That's what I want to know. Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time. I work hard every single day to bring you the news, including the scoop about the $3 trillion infrastructure plan, the Build Back Better agenda, which is designed to lift us past the point where we were pre-pandemic, hopefully boost us even further than where we were prior to the pandemic. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda. Please click the like button. Please subscribe. Please enable notifications. I would really appreciate that. That helps out the YouTube algorithm. Thank you so much for watching. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Take care. Bye.